In that scene when Marvin said, he told her, say, yo, Rock, I'm not. The same thing with Scrap. I'm not saying that he did it. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I know. Rock, the nurse is outside. The nurse is outside with you on the door. You can go in there. You can do what you have to do. But the nurse is outside. It's on you. And he put it, and I ain't got, hey, I'm just letting you know. If you want to do what you want to do, the nurse is outside having a smoke.
And welcome to Chronicles of Power, a podcast dedicated to the world of power, where I review and break down the latest episode in the Powerverse. We are brought to you by Private Listed, your source for all things music, sports, culture, and entertainment. Follow us at Chronicles of Power on Instagram. You can find us on YouTube at PVTLSTD. I am your host, Keemie, and today we have a very special guest in the building with us. I know normally I haven't been in the studio all season, but today, for very good reason, we deviate from our regular episode recap. And we have the phenomenal actor, comedian, philanthropist, Mr. London Brown in the building with us today. Clap it up, clap it up.
Thank you. But forgive me, how about we give a round of applause to that sweater she got on with, how about that?
With the grommets.
That crew neck right there. There we go. Boom.
Thank you. Had to pull it out.
Love it, man.
Thank you very much. I'm happy that we finally have you in the building with us today.
Yes.
We are going to dive into a lot of different topics. But normally what we do when we start off, we just get to know a little bit about you. But I don't want to ask you the same questions that people have normally asked you.
Okay.
Where your response is, oh, I worked in a school and then I ended up here, and those type of things.
Well, I'm going to need you not to make my life seem boring.
No.
I'll get it.
Your life is not
boring. Throw it at. Let's go. I'm ready. I'm here.
I just want to make sure that we're getting deep details.
Absolutely. Sounds good.
Alrighty. I want to know, after you moved on from Ballers, how did you get the role of Marvin on Raising Kanan?
So once Ballers ended that fall of 2019, the agency I was with, the short version is we just decided to part ways. My manager said, hey, don't worry about it. We're going to find you another agent. Let's keep working. I went off to go shoot a film, and I shot Tales from the Hood 3, and then I went to go do, I think it's called American Soul, and I played Boosie Collins. Shout out to Robbie Reed. She called me for that. And then I met my agent. We took our first meeting was like 5 minutes. Then after that, the second meeting, he was like, yo, I got this audition for you. I was like, all right, bet. And the title, I think it said Raising Kanan, but I didn't know what that was because I never watched Power before. Oh. So I didn't know it was even attached to Power or a spinoff, anything like that. So, it said something like, because what happens is sometimes when an audition, if they want to protect their project, they'll title the project with a bogus title, so that the rumors don't get around on the release. So I just thought it was a bogus title. It said, I don't think it said Raising Kanan. I think it just said Power 3. I was like, well, I knew Power at that time was ending. So I was like, okay, well, this can't be the same show because I know they're ending. And so anyway, he wasn't my agent at the time, but he sent that out to me. I auditioned several times from December to like February or January. Then I got a call, and they told me I landed the project, and they offered it to me. So then I moved to New York, and I landed it. We shot the first episode. Then pandemic hit.
Yes,
and then that was that whole debacle. But that's that's the quick story of it. And God worked it out. That ain't even me.
Yeah, there we go. So I was going to talk to you about the pandemic, but not just the pandemic, but also the writing strike and the actor strike. How were you able to, I guess, persevere through all of those things? You had the pandemic, that was one thing, and then you had the strike. 2 types of strikes. That was another. How do you keep your mental together as an actor, or even just not even as an actor, just as a professional?
The thing about first off, acting is like an incredible temp job. You know, you work when you work. It's fun, but when you ain't working, you ain't working. That's the first part of it. But then, secondly, I don't spend a lot of money on frivolous things, so I wasn't going broke. So I was able to survive. The other part of it is, you know, I'm stand up. I'm in the clubs, so when I'm not shooting, I'm working out in comedy clubs and stuff like that. But ultimately, it's still God, you know, who create avenues and allow me to sustain, you know, through all of this and keep at it. So I was cool. As an artist, I do photography and a lot of other stuff. So I was just able to, you know, tap into some other artistic sides of myself without falling into some crazy depression about not working. You know, stand up is always there. So I'm grateful I have that and that sort of thing. So I was okay. I got as good. I got through.
Well, throughout the pandemic, so did you just work on new material throughout the pandemic? Was that like a release for you?
You know, because that's when podcasts really got going. So I did a lot of interview stuff. I went live quite a few times.
Yes, I remember.
And honestly, I just took that time to really kind of rest. It's hard. It's very difficult for me to rest because I just feel like I can't because of what I do. It's always a grind and a hustle and all of that sort of thing. But I really just took that time to lay low, rest, and keep it together. So I got through. God is good. I was not in some serious struggle and sick and all this stuff. I got some grace on me. I was totally fine during the pandemic and went to go feed some people and I helped out other people, but I was okay, blessingly.
Yes, and you donated. I've seen. I keep track of a lot of the work that you do because I think that you're pretty dynamic in not only as an actor but as a comedian, because I've made sure that I've supported in multiple ways, right? Like if you have a show, I go out and I support. I make sure I sit in the audience, clap it up, and see what you're doing. But also, I've seen that you've done work with the Black Expo. I've seen that I've seen you clean out your closet and donate your stuff. I know that sometimes that's probably, I don't know, you don't want people to say the things that you're doing, but I just want you guys to know that that London Brown isn't just Uncle Marvin. He is more than that. He has been in other shows. I actually saw something that I did want to ask you about. I saw a producer credit to your name, and it was something called What You Know About That. What's that?
You see, I'm telling you, y'all be knowing more than what I know. I guess I mean, I mean, if that's what it says, then that's what it says. I don't even know, because sometimes I do these. I try to help out where I can, man, because I just know what that feels like. Sometimes and I'm not. I mean, when I say that, I mean, I understand. Like, for example, when I'm on the street and I take pictures with people, sometimes I just ask them, hey man, are you the dude from the show? And say, yeah man, come on, let's take a picture. I know I get that side, which is sometimes people don't want to ask. Dudes be too cool, they be with their girl. I'm like, oh, this is a clean show, right?
No, you can say whatever you want.
I'll be like, I'll be like, brother, I know you watch the show.
I know what you want to say.
I'm like, come on man, let's just take the picture and I disarm that situation because I just understand. So I'm saying that to say that whatever contributions I do to try to help other people, also, man, if you want to ever keep your heart in check, you got to give. Giving is a good way to just stay, because people are like, man, you super grounded and all this stuff. Like, that's very intentional. I know that. I put a lot of energy into making sure that I stay on, regular, because it's easy to get caught up. You on set, people, there's somebody that brings you food, cuts your hair, brings you clothes, and they drive you to where you got to go. All you need to do is just perform. But I try not to function in that space because it's easy to get caught up if you ain't grounded to nothing. So as far as my contributions, I try to just do those things because I know, there are a lot of people who helped me get to where I am. A lot of people praying for me and all that kind of stuff. So the least I can do is balance myself out and try to help other people in my small way. I ain't doing nothing major, but I just try to keep it balanced. That's it.
Well, how do you set boundaries then? I know that you talk about, staying grounded and helping those because you're paying it forward in a sense, right?
Yeah.
But what about times when you're out in the street or when you're working and you can't stop for a picture or you can't necessarily give what someone is asking of you? How do you?
Yeah, as far as not to cut you off, but yeah, to what you're saying, find that balance and creating those boundaries. The least I can do is acknowledge somebody. At the very least, I try to be kind to people. I may not always be, people, they rush me around and stuff like that, but at least, a salute, a head nod, something that just let people know
Acknowledgement.
I do see you. And at the very least, try to be kind, because if I break all of this stuff down, what it comes down to is, if it wasn't for, if it wasn't for a local Bobby on the corner, it wasn't for Samantha across the street, it wasn't for, Santiago on the other corner. All these individual people collectively keep me employed, is how I see it. So I always try to remember that, because wherever restaurant I'm walking into or out of, whatever car I'm driving, whatever call I'm having, whatever fresh shoes that people are acknowledging, the people that watch the show have all in some sort of way contributed to me living this life that I live. So I always try to make time to speak to people, just to get, just to show them some energy, because I understand people. And I'm not above saying what's up. That's, it's cool, man. Couple seconds, quick photo. What I don't, and let me be clear about this. What the camera? Which one?
Right here.
Let me be clear with y'all.
Oh, that one. Sorry.
I need y'all to stop showing your age.
Oh no.
If your phone got a timer on it,
God.
you're letting us know that you're old. Okay?
What?
People, we want to take pictures. Well, let me take a picture with you. And we go take the picture. I'll turn into a mannequin because they got 5, 4, 3.
Oh, a countdown. I'm like,
countdown.
what?
Come on, man. Take that timer off the phone, man. What are you doing? That's the oldest thing. I don't care how good and sexy you think you looking, ladies. If you got a timer on your phone,
oh my God,
you letting us know you was born before the 80s. That's the energy you giving. Shout out to the 80s, babies. I'm from the 80s, but I'm saying you look like you born before the 70s. Take the timer off.
Oh,
all right.
My God.
But shout out. No, but I'll take a picture. Whatever, man. I'm here.
I didn't think we were gonna go there this early.
People are beautiful. I try to make a little time, and
yes,
taking a photo ain't nothing, man.
No.
That's cool.
It's not. Okay, so in other words, he tries not to say no. He tries to be kind. But I was in my intro for you, right? I was gonna call you a relationship guru, but
no. I won't say guru, but you
just be knowing.
You know what? Not to cut off your segue into it.
No, it's not. This is completely off book.
Ultimately, as far as relationships, I just simply break down why guys respond the way that we do to the things that women do. I'm no guru. I don't know nothing about nothing except what I know. And so, but my thing is like this. If a woman is not getting the results she wants from a guy, I simply break down the possible reasons why this is so. And if they want different results, I have some suggestions for that. That's it. Now, a woman can always do what she want to do. She can move. She can, because I had women say, if a man date me, he got to take me the way I am. He can wear. I should be here. She better like me to wear whatever I got on. That's cool. If you want to wear Crocs and baggy sweats and a bonnet, that's cool. But if that brother is not, if you notice that guy's not taking you out on dates, that might be one of the reasons why. Look, a guy is not willing to be taking chances, taking a woman out, and she not showing up right. What, like, that entitled energy that's popping off lately? Like, nah, most guys, they don't, because women complain, they'll say things like, a guy should want to pay for this, that, this, and that. Cool. What a lot of women are not understanding that it's in a guy's proclivity to want to take care of a woman if she is deserving of it. We not about to be just because you're telling me I gotta spend all of this just to see if
I
we
wish
cool.
y'all could see the people behind the camera shaking their head.
Man, come on. I'm speaking for the solid.
They
energy
about
guy.
to start.
That's crazy.
Clapping.
That's crazy work right there. Like a guy, trust me, a guy work. Everything I had this conversation this morning. Everything that a guy does is for a woman. The way we get a haircut, we smell good, we shower, keep clean car. All this stuff is to attract a woman. So it's like, yo, we have no problem getting a woman a bag, flying her out, all of that's cool. But also at the same time, in exchange, be the inspiration for me to do those things. You don't come out the bag talking about, okay, so my cash app is, you gone, man, get out of here.
Have people done that to you?
People have tried to. First of all, when I see a cash app in the bio,
oh God,
no disrespect to those who got cash apps in the bio, get yours. I'm just letting you know there's some solid guys out here that is not. When they see the cash apps in the bio, it just screams
thirsty.
It's just. She said it, guys. She said thirsty. That's all. It's just an interesting energy because also. And I'm gonna let you go with this. You done set me off when you start talking about relationships.
I know. I set you up. I hit the bell.
The flip side is this too, though, which is when a woman says, "I need a man," and she says, "Hey, if we're gonna kick it, you got to cover my nails, this, and that." What some of these chicks are not understanding is that those sorts of things, that's bottomless things. Like those things should already be what you do, whether you with a guy or not. So the fact that you need a guy to help maintain your bottom of the list things, that's like saying, I as a guy, man, I need a woman that's going to inspire me to go to work, bro. Come on, we off there. You got to go to work because you got to go to work. I'm not looking for no woman to try to encourage me to take a shower and all that stuff. Some of these things you got to already do within yourself. And so the fact that women be talking about like that, I'll be like, oh man, just they flipping on the guy. Somehow, if you broke and you can't pay for it, just say you broke. No, if you broke and you can't pay for it, you need to show up.
That's called gaslighting.
You're not.
Yeah.
They make it seem like sometimes women make it seem like them dressing up and showing up and looking fly and being put together. They make it seem like they doing a guy a favor. No, you start off like that. You ain't doing no favor to me. You gotta. At the end of the day, guys are the ones who are taking the knee and saying, "Hey, would you be my wife?" Now, if they're not interested in looking for that, then go be free. Leave the single life with your cats and your devices.
Not the cats and the device. All right.
That's enough. Okay, I'm done.
I'll come back.
I'm done. I'm out of here. Go ahead. You got it.
I'll come back.
Your interview. You got it. You the winner. You got it.
Oh my gosh, you said a mouthful. Pause.
Yes.
But okay. There's nothing wrong with having cats.
Nothing wrong with
having cats. And devices.
Nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong with that. But
I support it.
Do you?
Yeah, if that's what a woman want to be on. Always at the end of the day, I'm not here to tell people what to do and how to do it. No, please enjoy your life. If those are the results you want, enjoy it. I support it. Don't put your.
Nah, because now we're gonna talk. Now we're gonna talk.
Good night.
No, now we're gonna talk.
No, I'm here.
Because you said a lot of stuff, and
Okay.
we have a lot of stuff happening.
Sure.
Recently, so I won't say the specifics of what happened or that were in the allegations, but recently Shannon Sharpe and people have been giving him criticism about dating extremely young women. However, on the flip side, Tracee Ellis Ross made similar comments. I don't know if she's necessarily talking about dating a 19-year-old.
Okay.
How do you feel about huge age gaps when dating?
I think like this. If we were to keep it, people were to keep it a buck. There's this idea that, I've seen a couple interviews and people are saying like, when an older guy wants to date a younger woman, it's for manipulation. People go into the negative of that. Now, does London Brown sit up there, date someone that's 19? Am I even interested in looking that way? I'm not that's not my get down. You know, I talk about this on stage about dating grown and mature women. I talk about this in my set. It's a very honest thought. My thought also is that a lot of times I feel like a lot of women condemn older men for dating younger because they're not in that pool of being selected. For example, an older woman may say, you know, these guys are always dating younger because they can manipulate the woman and control her. But I also feel like, let's just be honest, there's a part of you that's kind of hurt by the fact that you're not being chosen, or the fact that you're being chosen, these younger chicks are being picked over you. There's a lot of benefits to dating a woman that is, you know, not as older. I don't want to disrespect mature woman, but when a guy dates some of these chicks that's in their 20s, a lot of times
not 20s though.
Okay.
19.
19 is different.
That's what I'm saying.
19 is young.
Difference.
19 is young. I don't know, because the thing about it, even my thing is, when any older guy over his 50s dating somebody 19, if you over 50, still in shape and all the good stuff, and you got the bag to support it, you can find a woman that's much older than that, but still look however young. You know, that was my whole thing. I won't mention them names, right. But there was a couple cats that's locked up that was dealing with some underage chicks, and I'm like, bro, with the money you got, if that's your kink, bro, you can find somebody in their 30s and have them dress young or wear a costume and you can still keep your kink, but in a respectable way, is what I'm saying. You ain't got to date nobody young and underage and all that stuff. But are there some older guys that date young to manipulate and stuff like that? Sure, there are. Okay. But like I said, when you start talking about teens, first of all, mentally, I don't know how you even have a conversation with somebody
that's what young. I'm gonna say. Like, what do you have in common with this person at this point?
It gets weird. You know, you can't. You know, they talking about they ready to go see Justin Bieber concerts. I'm like, listen, man, we not finna. You know, let's bake some cookies. It's like, oh, what you gonna have a conversation about? So that's why it's not my thing. But again, as far as older and younger, sometimes when an older guy dates a younger chick, she's not as damaged. She's not as damaged. Not as damaged. She ain't got a lot of back. Meaning she ain't been through a whole lot of different relationships. She ain't been married yet and divorced, and she ain't got like kids. She kind of fresh. She kind of green. So there's an interesting thing that guys enjoy about a woman that's green. Meaning guys enjoy being able to teach or introduce or show a woman something.
So someone that's malleable. Is what you're saying. Someone
that's just inexperienced. So he gets to say he gets to help her learn what he's into and say, hey, I want you to cook like this. I like when you dress like this. I want you to do these sorts of things for me like this. But now that's why it's different on the flip side. A lot of women ain't really interested in dealing with no dude who don't know what he's doing. They want an experienced guy. So that's the flip. If an older woman deals with a younger guy, a lot of times if she's dealing with him, that younger guy, he already knows. He knows how to put it down in bed. He's still in shape, pause. He's still in shape. He is mature enough to keep up with her. He's young enough to have the energy, and he's mature enough. So they not trying to, sometimes older women ain't trying to find somebody their same age. He tired. She gotta help him put his slippers on. He can't even touch his toes.
You gotta look out for the strokes of a sign. Signs of the stroke.
I'm saying. So when she did, that's why that sweet spot is when a woman is like them late 40s, 50s, and she get to find a guy between that 35, early 40s. She's in perfect. Those women, because they sexual tension is up, and they found a guy who's not in his 20s.
Let me get back my question.
By the time he's 35 in his 40s, he know what he doing. Early 20s, a lot of guys, we experiment, we try to figure it out and understand how to move with a woman. That 35 to 40, early 40s up in that mix.
That's a sweet spot.
I'm telling you, actually, forget what I'm saying. When you have your female guests on here, they'll tell you. Check with your listeners. They understand the women in them that late 40s, in them 50s, they having a great time with them dudes in them late 30s and early 40s. Splendid. I'm telling you. Forget what I'm saying. People ain't got to believe me. See what they say online. They going to feel me.
Yo, I need a moment.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
We found the sweet spot, guys.
All right, I'm here. I'm here to listen. I'm here to be.
Now, I mean, I like listening to your takes because you say things that most people will pussyfoot around, right? Like a lot of people wouldn't have said what you just said.
But it's only to help.
It's only to help.
Only to help. I'm not here to tear
do you
nobody
still
down.
do your white tea talks?
Yes. I still
okay.
have a vote of them. What I've been trying to do, though, because I'm on TikTok, but I'm not active. And I want to get verified first because what I realized is that people was just stealing their other accounts, building off my content.
Their stuff, yeah.
So it's like, man, it put me in this interesting spot where I'm like, I want to keep dropping, but at the same time, I'm feeding somebody else's all these fake. Listen, man, if you're on TikTok, man, and you are acting as me, man, out of respect, if you got respect for your boy, man, don't do me like that. At least tag me to the video. Don't just steal the content. For anybody out there, don't steal.
Yeah, so I did want to ask you about that because I saw this happen to you a couple of times.
It's cold, man.
That thing so not just your white tea talks, right? But when people tape your lives and they replay them. And then sometimes some of the things you say, there was one specific thing that I saw and I was there for it, like watching it live. And then they took one part of the conversation and it hit all of the blogs.
It sure did.
And then you went viral for it.
I know.
And then after that, then we didn't see you for a long time. You started doing the lives like this. You come
you better shut up. You better shut up. I did.
The camera. And I was like, don't let these people scare you out your glory.
No, you know what it is? It's just, first of all, my publicists and everybody, they have they start having a stroke.
They're scary.
But the thing about it, again, that's the cool part. So what you're saying, so yeah, I go live, people record the live, and then they take these sound bites and they go viral. And people will say this, well, didn't you say it? Yeah, I said that.
There's more to it.
Let me give you an example.
Okay, I'm ready.
I could say to, what's your name, bro? Mikhail. All right. I could say, yo, Mikhail, let's just say you walked in on me saying, if I was, let's say you walked in and I was talking to Mikhail, and when you walked in, I said, man, I hate working. You walked in, you looked for your phone, and all you heard was me saying, I hate working. Then you leave, and you go and you tell people down the hallway, you know what? The dude from Raising Kanan, he's so trifling. He said he hate working. What kind of black man don't like working and supporting himself and getting himself together? Did I say that? Yes. But the full sentence was, I hate working. ... On holidays because it keeps me away from my family.
Here we go.
So, yes, did I say it? Absolutely. But if you didn't get the whole idea, then you're not going to understand. So when I say I hate working, if that's all you see and hear, people so immature, they run with that. I'm saying put it in context. And because I'm running to people, I remember I was on 125th and Lennox, I was in Harlem, and this chick said, you the one who said ... And I said, well, why you say you hate working? I said, hold on. Do you think that's trifling? That's irresponsible? I said, hold on. The full sentence was, I hate working on holidays because it keeps me away from my family. Would you think that's a fair statement? Do you agree? Would you feel the same way? You know, I would feel the same way. That's me too, because I don't like being around my family. I love my family because they be Christian and all that. She went through it. She turned full circle, totally agreed. And so when things go viral, that's why I try to tell my friends, slow down and process. Sometimes the clips that we get be on clickbait. I understand why the sites do it.
Yeah,
they getting their followers and their likes. But for my friends and followers, I'd be like, before you jump to assuming anything, why don't you ask me, hey, London, what did you mean when you said you didn't like working? Let me tell, oh, man, I said, hey, man, I really care about my family and my loved ones. I want to be around them because family is important. So the whole sentence was, I don't like working on holidays because it keeps me away from my family. Oh, man, that's me, too. I'm like, I know. I wouldn't waste people's time just spewing opinions that aren't grounded to any kind of truth. But I understand people, they run with stuff and people got all kinds of things to say. It's cool, man. If people know me, that's why I don't get mad because people don't know me.
I was just about to ask you, do you get frustrated with going viral for the wrong things?
You know, it's frustrating. It's really only frustrating with the people I know who may have my number or people who I'm like, why you think I would do that? Come on, man. You know me better than that. You know, but most of the time people that have negative things to say about me, they ain't never spent no time with me. So I know, I'm like, you can't hang with me and feel like, oh man, this nigga is this. You ain't kicked it with me. I know you haven't. You ain't met me before. Even if you met me, you know, man, he's straight. He's what he is what he is. So I know I'm good. I'm good vibes. I'm telling you, I don't spend time in that sort of negative space. It's just not my. I'm not saying that I'm a perfect guy, but ill intent, being negative, being jealous, and all that kind of stuff, stealing, some of those things, they're just not my bag. That's not that's not what I'm on.
You know, excuse me. I like that you said that. And you clarified a lot without naming any names, and I think that was very concise. I try
to keep it together, so
you did.
I'll have to have no meetings after this.
I know you did really good, because I made sure not to say, because I thought that was a very nasty situation, and I didn't like it, especially because I was there for what you said, like the entire thing. But I kind of felt like people ask you those questions to get a rise out of you too. And I see sometimes that you ignore them.
I try to, so the learning lesson in that, I was like, okay, moving forward, as I address different things, I'm at least not mention names. This way, people, you can assume what you want to assume, but you can't say London said this about this person.
Right.
I try to keep the names out. This way I can still keep my voice, but, keep it cool. Because, again, whatever I say, I'm never trying to tear nobody down. That's just not my angle. I'm not that kind of guy. I don't function in that space.
That leads into, so like, I kind of deviated away from a lot of the questions that I did have for you, because like you're such a natural, I guess, in conversing with people, and you have like a good energy about you. But it leads me to this, because you just said something. For people that know me, they would know that there was no ill intent when I said that I was only speaking on something specific. Mm-hmm. How then is it important to, I guess, lean on the relationships that you already have, or how you maintain those relationships? Like, I guess the question that I'm really trying to know is, how does what you do on the outside affect the relationships that you've already have? Or does that even bother you in a sense?
I ultimately, if you're my friend, you're my friend, and I keep people, I'm pretty neutral. Like, I don't have these weird sides. Like, whatever I'm saying now, I can say in front of anybody, because I understand it too, especially online. I realize that sometimes my reps or people on my team, on my professional side, they've chimed in on my lives. They see me cooking and they'll mention it. And different. And I have white folks, I have Christians, I have people from all different groups that follow me. So I got to be able to kind of stand on what I'm saying, because I run into people and I'm outside all the time. I'm public. I do stand up. I'm always promoting. I'm not hard to find. So whatever it is that people want to address, I got to be able to stand on it when they say, yo, when you said this, what did you mean? And I can look them in the eye and say, this is what I meant. I meant this is that. And I say what I mean what I say. And if there is ever a time where someone was really offended and they expressed to me how, and I'm able to really understand that, then I'm not above saying, oh man, my fault, man, I didn't mean for you to take it that way. I was just simply saying that if you do like this and that, you get these results. Oh, okay. But again, when people meet me and they see me, they feel the energy. They know I'm not on that. It's just most of the time it's people online who don't know me. Sometimes people just mad because they want to be mad and they got nothing else to do. My thing is, even for me, I'm like, I wouldn't follow and engage on a page of someone I didn't agree with. I'm like, I wouldn't waste my time. That's like me going back and forth with a racist about whatever. I'm like, I don't believe in those views, so I'm not even about to scroll through your page. That's you. Do what you got to do. I'm good over here. I want to stay with. I tell my own followers, if you don't feel like you're becoming progressive or entertained or engaging on some sort of level that makes you feel cool about yourself, don't follow me. I'm not the page for you. I'm not thirsty for followers. Go to a page where you feel like your spirit is lifted or energized. I'm all supportive of people doing what's best for them.
But do you feel like you have to be careful sometimes in the stuff that you say? Like, do you ever curtail some of your thoughts or like
Oh, it's
edit
always,
yourself?
always. The fact that I don't even curse on my live. I don't curse on my live. You ain't ever seen me with a blunt, a drink, or anything. I try to keep. I understand because again, I got Christians on there. I got people I went to church with when I was 7, and professors and teachers. It's always a filter, as far as, well, first of all, just being a man. As straight men dealing with women, we filter all day. The stuff, for example, when a woman says, hey, we need to talk. When a woman say that, instantly a guy is like, there's so many curse words that fill the guy's brain. It's like, what do you, we want to hit the tape. What do you want to, we get defensive. Well, people, we ain't got nothing to hide, we get defensive. It's just a man thing. It's just, we know that when a woman says, we need to talk, we know there's emotional something tied behind that. And we just be like, okay. But we can't wild out. We just got to say, and then, because I've had that conversation and the woman says, we need to talk. And she has done, she said, no, don't worry. I know how you get. It's not like that. I just want to talk to you. And as guys, we can't trip. We got to just say, oh, no, it's cool. Whatever you want to talk about. It's cool. And we keep neutral. But I'm saying that to say that guys are always filtering when it comes to a woman. Whatever, even though the version that the woman receives, she feels is harsh, trust me, it was way harsher in his brain when he thought about it before he said it to you. That's the filter version. Because guys, most decent guys, we ain't trying to hurt the woman's feelings. We not trying to be mean like that. We just talk straight and direct sometimes, and we filter to try to, for the sake of the woman, so that we can still keep the connection.
I'm glad. Yeah, I mean, I like that you related it back to male, female, or man and women interactions, but I was more so talking about like just in terms of the industry, and editing yourself and how people react to you, because I remember you said something earlier and it triggered a thought in my head, something that Anthony Mackie said a while ago, and it was success is given, not earned, along those lines. And he talked about spending decades in the business and how someone can just choose you to win. And then I was like, well, I wonder sometimes if some of the things that you say, whether we were talking about it sometimes coming off offensive, but that's not the effort that you put behind it. Right? So do you agree with him that people are handpicked? And because if you agree or disagree, does that influence your decision on the things that you say is the question.
Also, well, for me, with what people say, I know my intent. My intent is never to come off with malice or, to be disrespectful. I know I can go to sleep at night knowing I don't live my life that way. Now, that's the first part. And as far as who makes it and who doesn't, I don't pay too much attention to that because people are fickle. They're always vacillating between who is what and how they feel. That's why my trust is in God. Because I can't control what I can't control, and I don't try to control what I can't control. People gonna move how they move. That's why even when it comes to acting, it's not. I tell younger actors, or people start. I say, man, as you audition, don't tear yourself down when you don't book a project. Sometimes it's not about whether you did a good job or not. You could have done a great job. You're just not what they're looking for. When I auditioned for Ballers, the character with Dwayne Johnson, HBO, the character name was Fat Reggie. When I did that audition, everybody in there was as big as a duplex. Everybody was, so all the guys in there was like that, pause. And so I could focus on that, or I could just focus on doing what London Brown does. And I messed around and got the part. And as an encouraging thought, sometimes, man, it's not about what's on paper. You just bring, a lot of these writers sometimes don't even know what these characters, who these characters are. They're looking for casting is looking for us as actors to bring these characters to life, and we show them like I'm Marvin. I know you fit on paper. He's the older brother, and there's some basic things, but London Brown has to show up in the room saying, "Yo, I'm what you're looking for. Here it is. Don't look any further." And so when it comes to that, at the same time, I do auditions all the time. I can't stress myself out about them. I do them. I let them go, and it's in God's hands. I'm not on anybody's plan. I'm on God's plan, and that's it, man.
So let's talk about Marvin a little bit, because
Yes.
we talked about everything else, but let's talk about Raising Kanan just a little bit. So we're gonna preface this by saying that Mr. London Brown says he has not watched the show.
Yeah, I haven't watched the show in its entirety.
There we go. So he knows pretty much what's going on. He knows about his character. But before we do like very specific things about the character, was there anything about Marvin that happened throughout the time that you were filming that you wanted to change, that didn't feel authentic to the character in your eyes?
There was one small thing, which is for those who watch the show, Marvin went to therapy in season 2. And what I wanted to do was I suggested to the producers, I said I wanted Marvin's snacks to become healthier as a part of Marvin's growth. And they didn't want to side with that idea necessarily. I did as best I could, but I thought it would have been super interesting. The audience wouldn't even caught it, but it would have been nice if Marvin had went from a bag of chips and then he started eating,
Apples.
rice cakes, celery. Yeah. That was one small thing. And then another thing that they didn't get a chance to explore that I really pushed for was all of us in the Thomas family in real life do music on some sort of level. Malcolm raps, Haley sings, Patina sings, Makai plays drum, I play some keys and a little, my little music stuff that I do. But what I pitched to them, it would have been nice if Marvin was playing keys.
Y'all were like Thomas 5?
I'm telling you, Marvin playing keys, and then Haley would have come in and saw her dad playing, and she would have realized her musical talents come from her mom and dad, and that would have been a nice one-on-one moment for Marvin and Jukebox to do a thing. But they didn't go for that.
I'm going to write it down, because the next time we have Sasha on the show, I'm going to be like, why you didn't let Marvin do this?
I told him, like season 2, I said it would have been nice.
I'm going to ask him.
I'm like, So shout out to Sasha. He's the pen. Sasha the pen.
He is amazing. So, and one of the things he said about you, he was like, man, Marvin could do whatever the fuck he wants. I was like, okay.
They were so grateful. Let me embrace that Marvin character and shape him like that. It was shout out to Sasha Penn and the producers and the staff, man. It was cool, man. They let Marvin go, man. Yeah,
they let Marvin do a lot. But speaking of Marvin, let's keep going.
Yep.
So I have a question about the Thomas family.
Sure.
Thus far,
okay,
right, from what you know and what you've recorded and filmed, what has been the biggest mistake that the Thomas family has done so far, or has made rather? So I'll give some examples. Okay. There's the power struggle, right, between Kanan and Raq.
Yeah.
And they neglect each other's desires, right? When Raq neglects Lou's desire to leave. And then there are dynamic shifts, right? Which is what's happening almost right now between Raq and Marvin, whereas Stefano goes around and approaches Marvin and says, you're a man, you know how we're supposed to do things.
Yeah.
So what's the biggest mistake so far?
The biggest mistake. Oh man. I think as a Thomas family, our biggest mistake is that we never, as a family, we never really addressed our issues on like the root issue. We addressing all the street stuff, but it would have been nice, and this has nothing to do with the writing. I'm just talking about just within the story. It would have been nice as these characters if they would have been able. The fact that the mom is going through what she's going through, that should have been the eye opener for us. We should have gathered one last time to say, man, this is why we like this, man. We all need therapy. You know, we gonna flip these bricks, and we gonna, after we take out all these people, as a Thomas family, we gonna do a family vacation. We're gonna leave all the straps in the car, all the work in the car. We're gonna go have a good time. We're gonna go. The Thomas family needed a vacation with a therapist, like for a week, and really just hash out our issues.
They needed a retreat.
We needed a retreat.
That's
exactly what we needed. We needed a retreat and do something fun. They ain't got nothing to do with nobody else but the Thomas family, in an environment where we didn't feel threatened. And, you know, and we could see, you know, the Thomas family just being a family and not on guard all the time on something. But that's what we need. Our biggest mistake was not going to therapy in general.
Okay. So I like that. In episode 7, you guys you did get together. The adults got together, and then 2 of the adults got together. No, everybody got together in episode 7. So there was the final scene, though, between you, Malcolm Mays, Patina Miller, where you're discussing what Sharon Washington asked you to do, who plays Joyce Thomas, about euthanizing her. And it's everyone kind of looks at each other. Well, she asked me to do it,
right? And
then Lou says, well, she asked me too. And then they look at each other, and then Rock is in the back like, well, why she ain't asked me? And then Marvin turns around and is like, because she knew you wanted her to suffer.
Yeah.
And I wondered, I was like, does she really think that she wanted her to suffer?
Well, I think so. You know, that's what's so wild about it, is that the Thomas siblings, we all had a different relationship with the moms, and that didn't get revealed to me until we actually shot the scene. But after this episode, when you realize, man, Rock, when the moms announced that she had cancer at the table, Rock had a totally different. You could tell she was hurt underneath all of that, but the way she responded, she was upset. And shout out to Patina Miller for playing that so brilliantly. And Lou had his interpretation of it, and Marvin's in disbelief. You know, and it's like that in real life. You know, every sibling has their relationship with their mom, and it's a different thing. Even though we all grew up in the same house.
Yep. Everyone gets a different version of the parent. It's a different version. You know, because that's why when people be asking, you know, sometimes someone would ask a mom or parent, which kid do you love the best in different things? Honestly, each sibling is getting a different version of that parent, because just between time difference. The way my mom is with me, I was her firstborn. That's new. It's a whole lot of dynamics with that. And then versus my younger sister, a lot has changed between, you know, all of that stuff. So when it comes to that Thomas family and all of that, yeah, we all was figuring it out together. We was all confused and trying to work through it. And so hopefully we still working through it. I guess in these next couple episodes, we're gonna see how the Thomas family retreats or comes together on this. I don't know. Are they gonna come together?
Are they?
Question.
That's the thing. Are they? I don't know.
Are they gonna find out that Rock actually essentially pulled the plug?
I know.
And I wonder how they're gonna. So you don't have to tell me, but like, actually, I'm gonna leave it alone. Okay. I was gonna say, how does, like, they knew that their mother was suffering. Right. Are they gonna view it as a mercy kill, or that like Rock was assisting her, or are they able to conceptualize it the same way how they were able to do with Scrap, whereas Rock has to make the hard decisions?
I think it's a little bit all of that, because even in that scene when Marvin said, he told her, say, yo, Rock, I'm not, the same thing with Scrap. I'm not saying that he did it. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I know. Rock, the nurse is outside. The nurse is outside with you on the door. You can go in there. You can go you out the door. But the nurse is outside. It's on you. And he put it, and I ain't got, I'm just letting you know. If you want to do what you want to do, the nurse is outside having a smoke. So I'm about to go grab me some.
I realized he said she was having a smoke.
I'm about to go get me some chili cheese Fritos, and what you call them? What you call it? I'm about to give me what you call that cheese sandwich y'all do out here? No. The other joint.
Chopped cheese.
I'm about to go get me a chopped cheese.
Not at
and
that
you
time.
can
They
do
didn't
what
do
you
chopped
gonna
cheeses in the. Did they do chopped cheeses in the 90s?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Marlon's about to go make one.
Marlon's about to go invent it.
He was the one. He started it. So yeah, he left it alone because he didn't tell her to do it. He told her not to do it. He just said, "Hey, if you want something to eat, the refrigerator's over here, the plates and the cutlets, and that's all he did. He didn't tell her to go do it, but he just let her know if she wanted to grab something to eat, the refrigerator is that way. That's it."
Okay, so when you're not acting, you're touring with your comedy, and I feel like you answered this already, but does it ever become mundane when you have to like move from the show, then try to work out new material and going from city to city? Is it exciting still, or is it just like a part of the job?
It's always exciting because with stand-up, even if you have an incredible night on a Monday, an incredible night on a Tuesday, even if the both shows are great, either way, it's a new audience. So that's a new energy. It's a new city. The references are different. So it's always very titillating because it's a different experience. The 7 o'clock, even in the same building on the same night in the same city, the 7 o'clock audience is different from the 9 o'clock audience. So it's always very challenging because we don't know if the jokes are going to work. You have a good idea, and they've worked other places, but you just never know. Sometimes, so that challenge keeps it very exciting for me.
Okay. So now, let me tell you guys, I have one last question for you, and then I'll tell them about May 9th and 10th. You can check Mr. London Brown out in Detroit, and then also June 12th, he'll be in Atlanta.
Yes.
So keep an eye out for those. Look out for the tickets. Do you keep like that information in your bio?
We usually it's on. I go live with it. It's on my stories. Okay. Posting. So yeah, I'm there. They can meet me on there.
So it's coming up, and then like this is one of the more controversial opinions that I've heard you have. Right, the most controversial thing I've ever heard you say.
Okay.
I've heard you say that Brandy is like she's like a vocal Bible. Mm-hmm. So who's the better vocalist, Brandy or Beyonce?
I'm going with Brandy.
And that, guys, we are going viral.
Going with Brandy.
Thank you.
Going with Brandy. Shout out to Brandy. I'm going with Brandy all day.
Brandy's in the back sweating.
You know what? No, it's wild. People don't even know that. What's that album Brandy had early 2000? They actually sold more than Beyonce. That it was produced by Rodney Jerkins. That album, Full Moon album. That Full Moon album did well, but.
But that was a different time.
Like I said, now is Beyonce running the music scene? She's at the top of it, hands down. She's the one. She's the queen of that. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's just preference. I just like Brandy's tone. I like her cleanliness, her consistency. Brandy she's just the truth. No, is Beyonce the truth? She got her own thing going on. I'm just rocking with Brandy. That's all.
Alrighty. Well, we'll do like a little quick run, and then you can skedaddle. Who's better dressed, Marvin or Lou?
Marvin.
Dang, with no hesitation.
Marvin with the funeral slacks and the Easter kicks, with the Easter shoes. And with the Versace joints.
Okay, let's keep going. Going because there was that time where he showed you up in that iceberg sweater. So I'm not.
He was doing his thing. Shout out to Segay for dressing us in Frank.
Yes,
shout out to them.
That's my bestie. Segay's my bestie.
Oh, really? You know Segay?
Yeah, I know Segay. She made it on the show.
So that's Segay, man. You let her know I always shout her out. She did such a great job. I like Segay.
Yeah, Segay. It's
next time you speak to her, let her know there's some Marvin things I want to get. Some clothes I want to get. A couple things I want to snag off the rack. Anyway, go ahead. I'm listening.
I'm sweating. Hold on. Okay, so we said Marvin. Okay, what about Marvin and Unique?
I'm still going Marvin, though. Unique had a lot of fresh.
You are biased because when Unique got out that car and the fur was like this in the wind.
See, why you added the theatrics? Look.
He got out and it was almost like he did this.
No, he was dripped out with them leather fists and all them top and bottom MCM.
The MCM with the cement threes. Come on.
Absolutely.
Come on.
If I'll say this: if they didn't have Marvin just like Marvin, That would have been my next option to be just like Nick. Nick had all the fly leather.
Dapper Dan, the Gucci.
Yeah, he had all the fly Dapper Dan edition stuff. I said, man, that was cold. Absolutely, absolutely.
So just to run it back, so when Sagay was here, she said that you were best dressed.
Oh, okay. Come on, Sagay. I'm telling you. Sagay, I'm not trying to be funny, but I whatever Sagay was going to get me, I was going to wear it, make it work.
That's right. That's right. All right. So thank you, Mr. Marvin. Oh,
yes.
One thing that we didn't talk about.
Okay.
Please tell these people why Marvin wouldn't kill Famous, or why anyone in the Thomas family would not kill Famous.
I'll say this, at least from what I know, here, on a fundamental level, because I know everyone's like, man, why did Marvin? First of all, I can't even, to be honest with you, I ain't watched the show like that, but maybe somebody can show me. I don't even think there was a time where Marvin even had a conversation with Famous.
Just one time. Well, not a conversation. Y'all were in one scene in the beginning, in season 1.
In the rap scene.
Diner. In the rap scene and the dinosaur too.
Okay, then in the diner rap scene. Okay, there was two scenes, but Marvin never really had a one-on-one with Famous. Meaning, so there was no real reason to beef with Famous. I didn't even, and I don't even know if that was too much for me to even tell from the show side of it, like, because they don't want no spoilers. But that one just seemed like an obvious. I'm like, why would Marvin? Because they say, well, Marvin don't like snitches. I'm like, yeah, but that just doesn't. Marvin is not the kind of guy that's plucking people left and right or snatching old ladies' purses. He's not trying to take people out. If you do something disrespectful, that's clear. Marvin's going to address it. He's only responding to it. So on a basic level to the fans, I'm not trying to hide nothing. Just watch the show. I don't think that makes sense. Now, if we come to find out, for whatever reason, because that Marvin took out Famous on the dead homies, and on everything I love, on my mama.
Oh, mama.
I ain't got no kids, but if they were to be here, it would be a surprise to both of us. But that just don't make sense for the story.
Right. It's not the same thing as Sam. They didn't have the same interactions.
There's no beef. Like I said, I can see if Famous did something directly to Kanan or to me, where we just like, whoa, it's gonna come. Right now, Famous, I'm worried about Stefano. I'm worried about Rock and all this other stuff. It don't fit for me to be worried about no Famous, huh? Famous, go. I'm like, do well with your tapes.
do well with your tapes. You're my nephew's friend.
You're my nephew's friend. Go handle that. I ain't got nothing to do with them young people.
Yeah. Plus, you got real issues.
I got real issues.
Things grinding. You got people dying, losing money, all type of stuff.
That's the fact.
Mr. London Brown, it has been a pleasure talking to you
and your crew. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys. And if you wanna follow Mr. London Brown, you can find him at
Real London Brown, at Real London Brown. I go live. I interact with you guys. So please, all the shows and stuff, it's on my Instagram and all my social media stuff. Thank you so much.
And because we want to build up the TikTok too, because that's
yes.
What's your TikTok?
My TikTok is at Real London Brown. Some fake ones on there, but don't worry. You gonna know.
I'm gonna get verified.
Yes.